Hello friends, welcome to the Peacock Homestead, and if you are new here, my name is Elizabeth. Today we are going to be canning up some chickpeas that I had stored, and I'm just going to let these soak overnight, and then I'm going to come back to them in the morning, and then we are going to can these up. This week we have been so sick. I think it started last Friday it was. I woke up and I couldn't even get out of bed, and I had a panic attack because I couldn't breathe at all. So I've been using my rescue inhaler a lot this week. So I had just enough energy to do a little bit each day, so it took me 4 days to do this filming because I did one little thing each day. So I wanted to get something out for you guys. But I had soaked these chickpeas overnight, and I'm just adding them halfway up these quart jars, and then I'm going to be filling them up with bottled water. We have well water here, so I like to use bottled water for all my canning projects. Maybe someday we will get a water softener, but that is so expensive, so it's going to be a long time before I get that. And I'm going to put the lids and the rings on, and I like to have chickpeas on hand for making hummus. I like making side dishes. I like to add garlic and onions and some chicken bouillon spice, and it makes a wonderful side dish. My dogs love these as well, and I just love these for just different things to have them on hand. So I love winter canning too. It's one of my favorite things that I love to do is canning during the winter. So I've been taking my fire cider, I've been taking my elderberry juice, I've made some mullein tea. In my tea I had mullein and mint, so it tastes better because mullein does not taste good. So we are going to be pressure canning these chickpeas for 90 minutes, and I'm using my handy dandy Presto pressure canning cookbook instruction and recipe book to find out how long I need to pressure can this for. So there's going to be for 90 minutes. That's an hour and a half. And this is what they look like coming out. I am going to let them cool and seal, and so they're going to sit there for 24 hours. And then I'm going to wash them off and then label them. I'm just going to put the date on them because I can see what they are, and then put them on my shelf. So that made me happy. It filled 7 quart jars, and that'll be 7 sides, or I can use it for hummus or a side dish like I said. It's nice and convenient. This is also my husband's birthday week. It was on the 5th of March. So we ended up having chicken soup for dinner because we're both terribly sick. So it did help a lot. It was super delicious, and I was going to show you guys that as well. And I also wanted to show you how my chickies are doing. I was going to show you my little bantam chickens. There she is right there. We have 3 of them. We have this browner one and then 2 lighter ones, but they have little mohawks. They're so precious. But this is one of the mornings I bring their water out every morning, but this is one of the mornings I wanted to get them on film for you. They're definitely more friendly. These are the chickens that Thomas Jefferson had when he had his homestead. I do hopefully plan on getting a male, but I want to integrate them slow in the summer. So I wanted to get 3 more of the bantam chickens, 2 females and a male. And then I can get those eggs fertilized from the male and just produce my own chickens instead of having to go to Tractor Supply, because these bigger chickens that I got from Tractor Supply, not Hermione right there, but they all had pasty butt, and that was really rough on them. But this is the book that I got. I wanted to show you guys. I was so excited. I got this in the mail the day before my husband's birthday. It's called Attainable Sustainable, and I was super excited. There's a whole bunch of homesteading things in there. This book has a plethora of information. It has information on raising chickens, how to season your cast irons, how to grow and raise beds. It also talks about beekeeping and all the pollinators, composting, food preservation, creating your own orchard, greenhouse growing, and so much more. This book is definitely a big bonus in my library. And hopefully when the Hubs gets better, he can build me a new bookshelf, because I am collecting all these wonderful books and I need a nice place to put them. And I'm all about making my homemade beauty products and toiletries. So I decided that I was going to make a cooling rose deodorant, and it's super good for you. It has coconut oil, it has cooling rose. Rose has a cooling effect, so it makes you feel nice and cool, especially when you're working really hard on those hot summer days. I have my mortar and pestle here, and I was going to be grinding up some rose petals with that. And we're going to get about, in the recipe it takes about 2 pinches of rose petals. So if you're going to be measuring that out, I would just do 2 teaspoons of that. I put more in the mortar and pestle because I didn't know how much I was going to put in, but I figured 2 teaspoons would be perfect for this recipe. So I make my own deodorant. I do make a recipe for deodorant that does not have any coconut oil. It's like a refreshing powder, and I do use it as deodorant. It's a little messy, so adding the coconut oil kind of brings the mess together, and it contains it, and it makes it much nicer. For the coconut oil, I'm going to be adding 1/3 cup of coconut oil, and then I was going to soften that up right in the microwave for about 30 seconds so I can mix it all together, and it's going to come together very nice. And I was thinking, since I have rose petals in this, I was going to put some rose essential oil in it as well. So I was going to add 20 drops of the rose essential oil, the Now brand that I did get from Amazon, and that will give it an extra special rose touch. That's what that looks like. I was going to pop it in the microwave to soften it up a bit, and it's all nice and soft. And then when you put it in your container, it definitely solidifies up, so no worries. And we're going to be adding 1/3 cup of arrowroot powder. And I'm going to be putting this on my blog, so I'm going to be working on putting this on my blog, so then you'll have a good reference if you forget what the ingredients and what the measurements, what I'm saying now. And then, of course, we're going to need 1/3 cup of baking soda. This is going to last about 4 to 6 months. You just use a little bit, you put a little bit on your finger, and then you wipe it under your arms, and it lasts all day long. Sometimes I don't have to put deodorant on even the next day because I smell so good. I just wanted to show you the Now brand that I was talking about, rose essential oil. For some reason I cannot find pure rose essential oil, but we're going to get 20 drops in there. And again, I'll have this on my blog because I am definitely going to need to reference to my own recipe as well for the next time when I make it. I also make my own tooth powder and lotions and body butters myself because it's much healthier and you know what's in it. But I am putting 2 pinches, about 2 teaspoons of rose petals, and I crush them up really well. You can disregard the rose petals if you don't want them, but I thought they smelled really nice. Then we're going to get this all incorporated, and I'm going to put it in my little glass jar. I would suggest using a wide mouth jar so you can get your fingers in there, and then you can just store it in the bathroom or a nice cool place and use it accordingly. My husband did request me make him some, so I'm going to be making a more masculine scent. I will be using, instead of rose, I'm going to be using some orange or lemon essential oil with some frankincense, and that will smell more masculine. And I will probably be trying it as well because I am interested in what it's going to smell like. Frankincense is one of my favorite essential oils. You see how it was nice and liquidy? As soon as it hardens up, it is gonna be perfect. I love these little wide mouth jars. They're perfect for this recipe. And this smells divine, and it's actually natural and really good for your skin and safe for your body. That is what the finished product looks like. And don't forget to label. I had just put the date and then what the fragrance is inside because my husband does not want to be smelling like roses. I'm going to be straining out my spruce tip vinegar today. So I had this sitting for 4 to 6 weeks. I've started this towards the beginning of the Three Rivers Challenge, and now it's time to strain it. And I had these spruce tips in the back of my freezer for a really long time. They're sitting there for about a couple years. And I decided that I was not going to waste them, and I'm making something with them. So I made an infused oil, which is still going and brewing, and then I made this vinegar, and all I did was put a mother from another vinegar in there. I filled it up with well water and I added a cup of sugar, and I let it set for 4 to 6 weeks. And another mother formed on the top of it, so that's its own mother, and I couldn't get it untangled, so I'll bring it outside to my chickens and let them have a go at it, and it's very good for them. But this is all beautiful vinegar for cleaning, and then you can use it for a hair rinse. There's just so many uses. I could put a little bit in my dog's water. Spruce tips do have a high level of vitamin C, so you can make a tea with it. And then I also add it in my chicken's water as well. And speaking of chickens, I just wanted to show you what my chickens have been laying. So this one I found the other day. She's been doing this a lot. One of my Rhode Island Reds are laying a double yolker. So she's been doing that for a while. This one is Hermione's, my Americana. She lays these green eggs. And then this one is from my other Rhode Island Red as well. And we have bantam chickens, and that's what I was talking about earlier, that the kind of chickens that Thomas Jefferson had. And they lay the littlest baby eggs, so 2 of these eggs equal one of the larger eggs, but definitely not the one next to it. Well, I thought that was cool looking to show you the difference. And then that's what it looks like when I cracked it open. It was 2 little eggs and 1. I would be curious to see if that would be fertilized, because she keeps laying these double yolk eggs out. I thought that was fun to show you guys. And then For Tom's birthday, I am making a soup because we're both really sick. So I have some chicken bone broth here, and I actually changed out my pan because I had a lot of vegetables, more than I thought. I have some mushrooms and carrots and potatoes that I washed, and then I have some chicken thighs because I like the darker meat because it's more soft. I have a few onion ends that I needed to get used up, and I got them all chopped up, and I'm going to be adding my chicken broth, and then I'm just going to add a couple bottles of water. And just for the spices, all I added was my chicken bouillon spice, and it made it so it had just enough flavor, and it was really delicious and nourishing, and it helped us out so much. These are the times I'm very thankful that I had canned up and saved all my carcasses from all my chickens that I had purchased at the store, and I made chicken bone broth for the times that I need them when I'm sick and I have no energy, and I can just pop it on the stove and make a nourishing chicken soup like tonight. And I'm using my spruce tip vinegar here. I love the way this smells, and it works so wonderful for a natural cleaner on your counter. I'm just going to cook this until the chicken is fully cooked and the vegetables are al dente, and then I got a little stash in the back from my doggos, of course. They're excited about that. We're going to get this all cooking. I got it to a boil. I'm going to wait at least 20 minutes and check it, and then we're going to serve it up because I am starving. And I had just enough energy to find a recipe out of this book. His favorite flavor is key lime, so I'm making these key lime cookies from one of my favorite cookbooks. And I'm just gonna put half of the dough in the freezer because we can only eat like around a dozen. I'm gonna probably put them all in the fridge, but I'm gonna put half the dough in the freezer. And I did substitute, it called for ricotta cheese, and I used cottage cheese for these. But this is what they look like. They look like little cake cookies. They were so wonderful. And I zested up a lime, and I used lime juice and powdered sugar and 2 teaspoons of butter for the glaze. And that's what they look like. They were so delicious and fluffy, and the flavor was spot on. I will definitely be making these again, and I'm glad I have a batch in the freezer for when I feel a little better, but aren't they so beautiful? I love these little cookies. And I can say they are good for you because they have sourdough and cottage cheese in them. But I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I would love it if you give me a subscribe. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. Many blessings, and I will see you on the next video, friends.